Hey guys, thank you for watching my video. If you're watching this, I just wanted to add a few photos of before my progress. I'm still working on learning how to edit, so I wasn't able to figure out how to put it in the middle of my video. So I decided that I would put my before pictures, and then one of my transformation pictures with what I look like now. And I hope you enjoy the video.
Okay, I'm finally doing this. So I have been planning on doing this for a long time. I just haven't built up the confidence or the willpower to do it, but here I am finally doing it. Sorry if this is a little awkward. I'm a little nervous. Also, I've never filmed for YouTube before other than for class. But I figured that this was the best way for me to get my information or like my advice and my journey out there, because I do get a lot of questions, and sometimes it's easier if I can just send somebody to one place, or a lot of people to one place, rather than retyping the same message out. Also, I want to apologize because I'm getting over a sinus infection and strep throat, so I might sound a little nasally today. But that's why, if I breathe hard. Um, so first of all, I just want to start with I guess how I got to being like my biggest size. So the biggest size that I weighed in at was 389, so almost 400 pounds. And that was January of 2019. I imagine though that I was a little bit bigger than that. I had moved home December of 2018. After in October I came home and I was at my heaviest. Obviously, I was very unhappy. I hung out with my friends from high school and I was around my family. I hadn't seen them for about 5 months and I was like, this isn't what I want. I don't want to be away at school anymore. I don't. So I decided to move home. I had very poor eating habits, and I imagine that I was bigger because once I moved home, you can't hide some of those eating habits. So probably wasn't consuming the same amount of calories I was in while I was in Huntsville. So I've been overweight my whole life. I've never really had great eating habits. We grew up in a very kind of like toxic home. We didn't really talk about health. We didn't talk about mental health. We didn't talk about any of that growing up or anything like that. We used food to cope a lot. And I've been overweight. You can look at my childhood photos. If I could find some and I know how to edit, or find out how to edit, I'll add some in. But so I've been overweight forever. It's nothing new. It was nothing new when I went to college. I was overweight. I was bigger than I am now when I graduated high school by about 60 pounds. Um, but I think I started gaining a lot of weight my senior year of high school. My friends had changed. I was living with my aunt and my uncle, which that didn't really have an effect. I started driving so I could go and get food if I wanted to. I didn't have to eat at home because they generally made meals that weren't like super unhealthy. And so, I wouldn't have gained as much if I had just eaten at home or, watched what I was eating, but I didn't. And then my freshman year of college, everything was going good. They joke around like freshman 15. Well, mine was probably more like freshman 50. But you just have more leniency again. And then health options on college campuses were not necessarily healthy. I mean, there were healthy options. I obviously did not choose them, but I had tried to lose weight multiple times. During my freshman year, we would go work out. Me and my friends, a lot of us would try to lose weight together or work out. It didn't go well for like a week or so. Didn't really stick or anything like that. And then I just kept eating, and then I had more money to eat, which they usually say that college kids eat a lot of ramen. Not true. And then if you have a meal plan on campus, and you get Bearcat bucks, you go buy whatever that's not healthy. And then at the end of my freshman year, my best friend that had gotten that, I met her that year, but we became super close. I was with her basically 24/7. She passed away. And so that was a lot for me to handle. That was 2 weeks before finals of the last semester. So I came home, got super busy. Um, I stayed busy to like keep my mind going, and I've probably been like that for a long time, even before college. But that was something like a lot harder. So I ate my feelings. I didn't know how to grieve. I didn't know how to deal with that process. Came home, worked 40 hours every week that summer. Then I went back to school, and it's a large adjustment when you go back into a place where you were with somebody all the time to never again. Um, and I was already coping with food my freshman year of college, so you go through that and you come back and you're doing the same thing again. Not only that, I had moved into my apartment where I'm in my own room, own space. So like I could hide eating habits a lot more. So sophomore year I gained a little bit of weight, and then that next summer, and I had still stayed involved that year. That next summer I came home, things didn't work out, so I had to move back. None of my friends were there because everyone goes home for the summer. So I was kind of more alone. So I felt alone again. I was working 2 jobs, 8 days or 8 hours a day, like almost 7 days a week, um, alone. So I just coped with food all over again. And then I really, and I have pictures of my phone, like when I was in Huntsville, of me like weighing in to do like diet bet to like lose weight. And it's so sad because it's like, it had only been like 5 months and I had gained like 40 pounds, 50 pounds. But like, it's sad to see that I was trying, but I had never was like successful in doing that. I never stuck with anything or wasn't motivated enough, I guess. So I just wasn't in the right headspace. So then when I came home in 2018 for Halloween, and I realized how much I miss my family, and like this is where I needed to be, I was like, I have to move home. And I was so unhappy. Like I was very unhappy, and a lot of people didn't understand like why I would want to leave a university that I had been successful at. I was involved a lot in a lot of things. I had gotten an award my freshman year. I got an award my sophomore year for outstanding freshman student leader, sophomore student leader. But the thing is that it's like, doesn't matter how much success that you have somewhere. Like I was still kind of dying inside. I was so unhappy. I was miserable. I felt very much alone, and I had friends around me, but I felt alone inside. And the only way that I was coping with that was with food. I didn't get to that size just being lazy and wanting to eat everything. I was unhappy and didn't know how to deal with it. And that was past issues from growing up with, and then issues from college, and then my best friend dying. So it was a lot to handle, and I did what I did best, and I coped with food. It happens, a lot of people do it. And so when I came home in December, I was like, okay, I got my gym membership. Did I go to the gym? No. I went like one time. And then I turned 21 in December, like December 13th. And I was like, let's party. So then Fry Street happened, and I started drinking, and I was just making a lot of dumb decisions. I wasn't doing good things. I wasn't helping myself be better, and I was getting drunk and I was getting sad. And I was coping with food or other ways that were not healthy or good for my weight nor my mental state. And so then January came around, made some stupid decisions, and then I wrecked my car. And that next day I was like, what the heck are you doing? Like, Dakota, my friend who had passed away, would have been so pissed off at me. Her mom, she would get pissed off at me. She knows now about what happened, but it was just like a wake-up call. Like, what are you doing? Like, you are better than this and you deserve better than this, and like, stop treating yourself like you don't deserve anything good. So the end of that month, like 2 weeks later, I had already started kind of preparing to like lose weight, but at the end of that month I went to my doctor started getting on like a weight loss program. She put me on phentermine, which you might hear about it a lot if you look into health or weight loss. I thought it was a good thing, and then I'm no longer on it because it makes my anxiety way too high. So that is something that I no longer am on, and I would definitely suggest talking to a psychiatrist if you think you have anxiety before getting put on that. My psychiatrist says do not take it, but everyone's different. It helped with weight loss, but it definitely did not help with my mental health, which is something I feel like is very vital for weight loss. So I wrecked my car, got to my doctor, started on this. I did monthly weigh-ins to keep myself accountable, and we could see if the medicine was working and what I was doing. But even though I was on that, I was still like, I had started drinking trying, it's hard sometimes, but to drink a gallon of water a day. I was cutting out added sugar. So for instance, like drinking Gatorade Zero instead of Gatorade, which will help you get electrolytes too, I think. But just cutting out that added sugar, or like sparkling ice water, just so like for me, a big thing for me was soda, lots of soda, and chips. Chips are like like, I should not eat them because it'll make me eat like 9,000 calories of them. But so added sugar, you know, like eating a lot of like low carb things, but still like allowing myself to have stuff, because if I have eating disorders also. I struggle with binge eating, obviously. I was talking about hiding my eating habits, and then occasionally bulimia. So I don't make myself throw up a lot. It's very rare that I do it now, but it is something that I have struggled with. I wasn't very open about it because I didn't want people to think that my weight loss was any less or because of having bulimia, but actually people who binge and purge, like you don't lose those calories that you consumed all the way. So sometimes people who do that do end up getting overweight. So my weight loss has nothing to do with that, but it has altered my weight loss because it does set me back. It's something I still struggle with, even though I'm like almost 2 years into my journey, and it's hard. Certain things set it off. I have anxiety. So it's something I'm still working on. And what else did I do? I ate a lot of chicken, usually like more green vegetables, things like that. That's just how I started. I ate a lot of eggs. I've kind of changed my diet a few times. I tried keto like at my heaviest probably 6 times and failed every single time. I'm not a big fan of keto just because of what I've learned in my health track. Now, people have their opinions of keto, whatever. If it's worked for you, that's fine. I'm not going to tell somebody to go on keto. I'm not going to try keto again for myself just because it isn't something that I could stick to, especially if you have eating disorders. And this is something that I've kind of struggled with and I'm trying to learn more about, because I did just try to go plant-based. And if you have an eating disorder, especially binge eating, and you completely cut one food out, once you get a taste of that, you end up binging on it. So it's kind of like falling into a circle. So what I found best for me is to not completely restrict myself of things, but rather, you know, I watch my calories. I make sure that I'm getting enough water. I'm making sure that I'm not eating complete crap, like good things for my body. If you know me, you hang out with me, you probably see me with this all the time. It's a half gallon, it's a hydro jug. But I try to drink 2 of those a day. Sometimes I drink 2 of them, or 4 of them, because I sweat so much at the gym. I can tell I'm dehydrated and I just need water. It depends. Some days it's hard for me to drink a gallon. So it definitely depends, but I do try to drink not the most, but like a lot more than I normally would have. So I'm trying to think of what else. But definitely, one of the biggest things I think also is working on your mental health. That's a big one, and I feel like that's a lot of things that some people don't talk about, or some people don't want to talk about because a you either didn't talk about mental health in your family growing up, or no one ever did talk about it in your family. It's not something that's commonly talked about. It's still stigmatized in a lot of families or a lot of communities, even like cultural and things like that. Like some cultures don't talk about it, and it is something that is more pushed away in some families and places. Um, in 2020, we're still struggling with that. I try to be pretty open about my mental health just because a lot of people think that, like, oh, I've been successful and everything's been great and easy. And I also got told that I was lucky that I have motivation. But it's taken me a long time to even get to where I'm at, and I still struggle daily. I still struggle with my eating disorders. I still struggle with anxiety, depression, all of that. And every single one of those has affected my either weight loss, weight gain, um, plateaus, everything like that. Um, and if you don't become aware, like for me, I had to become aware of like what triggers me. What triggers me to make me want to eat these things that I know better, and I don't want to eat them because I want to lose the weight, but it's like what's triggering me to make me want to eat the things and push myself out of this progress. So understanding your triggers, which you will have to do. So I usually binge eat when I am sad or when my anxiety is high, because it's like a comfort thing. So becoming aware of like what your anxiety triggers are. My storage got full, so I had to restart making the video. Um, so yeah, just understanding your triggers and things like that. I didn't actually start going to counseling or anything until July of this year, so almost a year and a half into my journey. That was after losing a second friend. I was very afraid of going back into the same habits that I had gone into before. So I knew that it was kind of time to actually start seeking that. I kind of became self-aware that like, okay, I have binge eating. I do struggle with anxiety. I do struggle with depression. But counseling has definitely helped. And then they suggested that I see a psychiatrist, which I did. So now I'm on anxiety medicine as well. So that has kind of helped. I stopped taking the Lexapro, not the Lexapro, I'm on Lexapro, sorry. I stopped taking the phentermine because my psychiatrist said that that is probably what has been making my anxiety so high. So that's why I said that I suggest speaking with someone before you do that if you do believe that you struggle with anxiety. Yes, it helps with weight loss, but mental health can help you understand more things and you will feel a lot better. Now with anxiety, some people don't have it as bad, or maybe you have just general anxiety. The gym is also something that helps me with that. And then when I started my journey, I started working out probably 7 days a week, which is a lot for somebody at that size. And for cardio, all I did was walk on the treadmill. That's all I did, just walk. Physically, I don't think I could have done much of anything else. Like that's a lot of weight. I wish I could have ran at that time, but that is a lot of weight on my joints and things. So I did go at a slower pace than those who I was working out with because I was a lot heavier than they were. Nowadays, I can run, not a lot. It still hurts my knees and things like that. But just doing something simple like making yourself be more active, because I was not active. I did not want to walk far distances. The thought of like maybe like going to Six Flags, which obviously at that weight there's no way would have fit in the rides, but the thought of walking as much as you do at Six Flags did not sound fun. The state fair, anything like that did not sound exciting to me. Like if there was a lot of walking, like nope, not for me. I have flyaways, sorry. So that is not, I mean, even on campus, I would take the fastest route, the easiest route. And if you go to Sam Houston, or if you've ever visited Sam Houston, you know that there is a million hills, I would find a way to not have to walk up them. I would find any possible way to be lazy and not do something more active than what I could have been doing. Um, Now I love being active. I don't mind walking a few more steps. I don't mind going upstairs. Do I still get tired at the end of them? Yes, but I don't mind it. No, I wouldn't avoid it as much as I did before. Um, but just being more active, like getting yourself like your stamina. So people don't talk about some people believe in that you can be healthy at every size, and I'm also I'm a believer that you still have health issues. There's things that, like, my blood work was fine. The only thing that that was really wrong with my blood work was kind of what was it? I was pre-diabetic. So if I had kept eating how I was, I would have gone into diabetes. And let me tell you, the thought of having to give myself insulin with a needle, no matter how many tattoos I have, scares the crap out of me. And not only that, after the car thing, it was like, get your shiz, sorry, together. Like, that scared me. And I'm not surprised that I was diabetic. I was kind of figuring that something else was going to be worse, that there was going to be more things, because that's a lot of weight at age 20. That's a lot of weight. I'm lucky that I started earlier, because once you get older, like, it's a lot harder to get that off, and then you start getting more health issues. And also, I would say that skinny doesn't equal healthy either. It doesn't. But people don't talk about things that, like, okay, say that was the only thing that was wrong with my blood work, or say that I had nothing wrong with my blood work. I still couldn't sleep that night. I had to sleep like this. I could not fall asleep laying down because the pressure on my chest was so heavy because I was so large. I had sleep apnea. I hadn't really been diagnosed about it. They're like, you need to go get checked out for it because we're pretty sure you have it. I never went and got checked out for it. They're like, you need your tonsils out because they're large. So I had large tonsils plus a lot of weight, and it just was not good for me. Sorry, Tiana, for having to sleep in the hotel room with me when we went to Detroit, because I snored so loud. Like, people did not want to sleep in the same room with me. And I never slept in the room with, like, a guy or, like, anybody that I was seeing, because it was embarrassing. I would bless them for not having to do that, but it was so bad. Like, I couldn't sleep. I remember, like, I was falling asleep in my 11 o'clock class. There's no reason for that. I can get up at 4:30 now and be fine all day. I might be sleepy, but I would never fall asleep at 11 o'clock a.m. That's ridiculous to me. Like, I'm so and it was so hard to focus in that class. And then it's like, I snore. So, like, am I snoring in front of all these people? Sorry to anybody that had to deal with me in that class. So I was falling asleep at 11 o'clock, like, I wasn't sleeping. Like, my clothing went from, like, I kind of dressed kind of cute and stuff, to just leggings and a t-shirt, because I couldn't fit into anything else. And I hated clothes shopping, because, like, you can find stuff that's your size, yeah, but you have to go to Torrid, which is not close to Huntsville, or these clothes are, like, hideous. Like, just because I'm large does not mean I want to dress like my grandma's drapes. And it just was a lot, like, or I just didn't have the energy. I didn't have the energy to do my hair. I didn't have the energy to do a lot of things. I would do my makeup, and I think that made me kind of, like, cover up the fact that, like, I was large. I felt like I had to make my face look good, to hide from the fact that, like, hello, I'm almost 400 pounds, which obviously it doesn't, like, hide that fact, but it makes you feel better about yourself. Now, I have my makeup done today, but I don't ever really do my makeup. I do like my mascara usually, because I'm more confident. So I'm not a lot of confident, but I'm more confident ever than I was. But yeah, you just stop wanting to wear nice clothes. You just either can't find them, or they're very, 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 very expensive. And college student, I mean, I would buy some, but I'd have to buy, like, I bought like on sale, or, I'd find ways to get like cute clothes, but rarely did I ever wear them or did I feel comfortable in them. Um, and also at that stage, you just don't feel like you deserve love or anything. So I got really bad about pushing people away, and that has to do with a lot more things, but also being bigger. Um, I didn't feel like I deserved things, or people use you because they see you as being more vulnerable, because you kind of are, you know, uh, and what else? Like putting shoes on. Oh my gosh, bless my little cousin's hearts, because I have these like Ugg boot things. They're not Uggs, but they're like just like ankle, like those, but like Uggs, but like ankle. And like they were so hard to put on. So they would help me put them on. And it was a struggle every time. Like we almost gave up all the time trying to put them on. And that's ridiculous. That three people can't put one shoe on my foot. Now I can get them on by myself. But it's just like simple things like that. Like your quality of life, my quality of life was so like, it was not high at all. For being 20 years old, 21. It's ridiculous. It's sad. And it's like, like there's like, hey, you want to do my hair for me? I mean, like sometimes me and my friends will do that now, but like back then it's just because I didn't want to do it because it was a lot of work. Something that's like simple and that takes me 15 minutes now would take me like 30 minutes plus back then, because it was a lot for me to do, and it wasn't active. I didn't do things, anything like that. I'm trying to think of what else. Just a lot of things were not fun. My fun was eating and sleeping if I ever slept against the wall. But it is hard. It's not easy. It's something that is definitely not easy. And I think one of the biggest things to realize is that like you didn't gain the weight overnight, so you're not going to lose it overnight. And if you could, somebody point me in the right direction, but I wish it was that easy. But it's a lot more to that. A lot of people think that like you gain this weight because like you're lazy and you just ate a lot. But there's so much more to it. Like, there's people that eat just as much as I did. Well, probably not as much as I did, but a lot. And like, yeah, they have faster metabolisms, but like I said, skinny doesn't equal healthy either, but overweight definitely doesn't equal, because if you may not see signs now, but you will see signs later, especially as you get. But yeah, people think that you just gain it because you're lazy and stuff, and like some people do gain weight because they're lazy and they're not active, and more than likely if you do get as obese as I was, you probably were not active. You probably were more lazy. I was lazy. I didn't want to do active things, but I was struggling a lot with mental health and everything that was going on around me. But it is hard. I still struggle. I didn't eat good today. I'm very open about that. I don't lie about that either. I'm open about it. Sometimes I don't post about the bad, but promise you there is bad. And it was a long journey to gain that weight. It's not gonna be an easy journey to get it off. It isn't. But you do learn a lot more about yourself. I still struggle with that. I still struggle with like doing self-care for myself and self-love and confidence. I know a lot of people think that I have a lot of confidence. Some days I do. A lot of days I don't. Even 155 pounds later, there are things that I feel like I could have lost a lot more weight. I feel like I should be pushing myself a lot more and I'm not easy on myself, and then that'll kind of push me back into a space where it's like I'm struggling with those. I want to eat, I want to binge, and then sometimes I binge and I hate myself, and then I'll make myself, you know, bulimic tendencies. But it's a struggle. It's not going to be easy, but it's worth it. Quality of life. There's so much more things that I do or that I can do or that I'm open to doing now that I was never going to be if I had stayed at that size. Not only that, I was a walking contradiction for the fact that I am a health studies major. And what that is someone who basically goes into a community, assesses its health, and sees what issues need to be fixed, basically, or what issues need to be helped, and then create a program to help that. So how am I helping? How would I feel right going into communities helping with health issues when I was a health issue myself? So for me, that is one thing that has benefited. And as I'm going through my degree, I've been able to understand and learn more things about why I do what I do or why people do what they do and what goes on inside to help somebody solve those issues. So it's kind of helped me in that regards. I may hit on it a little bit on this channel it might be a little nerdy to some people, but I feel like that'll be kind of a way to understand things or at least show y'all kind of like how I see things to an extent. But now I've been able to help myself with my health and also learn. And I graduated in December, and excited. But it's been a long time coming. So finally, I feel like it's paid off because I'll be a better professional for it. But I've also helped myself live a better life because of it, and hopefully help other people. I mean, a lot of people come up to me and ask me questions and things. I am not the smartest. I'm not the best one to come to advice. But I do know a little bit just because I've been doing it, but it is hard. So this might be a little off. This is my first video, so I don't really know exactly how to do everything yet or what exactly I should talk about or start off with. I just know I needed to start it and stop beating around the bush and just do the thing. So basically, my thing would be to start. You need to be in a calorie deficit. If you're gaining weight, you're overeating. So your body has way too many calories and you need to cut them in order to make sure that you're in a deficit. Water. Drink your water. Like, your body is a lot of water and it needs a lot of water. Get more active. That doesn't mean go to the gym 7 days a week like I did, and I still go 6 days a week, but I love the gym. It helps with my anxiety. If I don't go before I go and do everything else for the rest of the day, I promise you can tell and I can tell because I'll be more not nice. Just get active. Go on a walk. You have a dog, go take it on a walk. 30 minutes. It's not a lot to ask. Some people have busy days. I have busy days. I'm very busy. That's why I fit the gym in at 4:30 in the morning, 5 in the morning. If you want it bad enough, you'll make time. Number 4, I would say, if you do struggle with mental health, anxiety, depression, anything like that, become aware of that. It's a little bit harder than that. And if you are aware of it, seek help. Don't be scared to seek help. It doesn't make you crazy. It's a part of life, and it sucks that some people don't really understand or aren't open to it, but it'll help. And number 5, be easy on yourself. It's a hard journey. It's not something that's going to be linear. You don't go from 400 pounds to 150 in 2 years. There's going to be plateaus. There's going to be times that, you may fall off the wagon, but as long as you pick yourself back up and you keep going, then you're doing the right thing. I could have lost more weight by now, but I had gallbladder surgery, I strained my quad, I went through depression, high times of anxiety, a lot of things that have stalled. But at the same end of the day, like, I still know where I'm headed. And okay, number 6, do it for yourself. Because if you're doing it for another person, and more than likely if it's a significant other, and I'm not saying things won't work out, but if it does not work out and then you fall off the bandwagon, you're going to be mad at yourself. And it's important to do it for yourself, because at the end of the day, the person you die with is you. The person who has to live with your emotions, the way that you feel about yourself, all of that is you. So do it for you and nobody else. You don't want to do it for out of hate for yourself, because at the end of the day, when you hate something and it's not working out and you get discouraged, you're going to fall off. So do it because you love yourself. You want a better life. You want a higher quality of life. You want to be able to maybe go play with your kids. You want to go on hiking trips. You want to go visit Mexico and see the Mayan temples or wherever that's at. You want to go do these things. You want to learn how to snowboard. You want to learn how to roller skate. That's for you. So make sure that you're doing it because you love yourself, that you want to experience all these other things, and not because somebody else has told you that this is what you need, or because, you know, society is like, you need to be a size 0. Screw society, screw all of that. Do it because you love yourself and you know that you deserve a better life and a higher quality of life.
Okay, I ended the video very awkwardly, but let me know if you would like more videos or what you would like to see or hear from me. Thank you again for watching.